Not guilty on all counts. The decision handed down today in the World Junior Sexual Assault trial. A Harrow man states his case after creating an unlicensed pickleball court for the neighborhood.
It was nothing malicious about it.
And introducing 10-year-old Harper Grace, a grade 5 student and now a published author.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
As you listen to the detailed decision and deconstruction of her evidence today, the trial judge clearly didn't believe her.
Not guilty. 5 former Team Canada juniors cleared of sexual assault charges in a case that's made headlines for years. Good evening. It's a decision that ends a long-anticipated trial and clears the names of 5 former World Junior hockey players. To unpack today's decision, CTV's Adrian Gobriel joins us from outside Superior Court this hour. Adrian.
That's right, Stephanie. For over 5 hours today, Justice Maria Carrassia went through the evidence. She then went through her reasons for the decision, eventually delivering her verdicts. Now, on a case that hinged on one word, consent, Justice Carrassia found that the complainant lacked credibility and even at times exaggerated her level of intoxication while giving testimony during the trial. The pressure-packed culmination of a historic 8-week criminal trial.
Definitely been emotional for everybody involved.
With the defendants arriving for decision day inside, the proceedings began with a recap of the evidence brought before the courts. Justice Maria Carrassia opened by proclaiming that she didn't find the evidence of EM, the complainant, to be either credible or reliable.
There were videos that were put to her. There was testimony of other hockey players. She was heavily cross-examined on that to raise some doubt about her credibility.
During a brief break in today's proceedings before the verdicts were even delivered, the accused hockey players were seen smiling and hugging their lawyers and family members in the courtroom. While delivering her verdicts, Justice Carrassia told the court that where EM had gaps in her memory, she filled them with assumptions. Going on to share that EM testified that while at Jack's Bar in London, Ontario, it was the players who bought her drinks all night, though video evidence shows EM purchasing multiple beverages herself. Previously, EM told the courts that on the night of June 18, 2018, she'd arrived at a downtown hotel with Michael McLeod where they had consensual sex. Afterwards, McLeod then sent this text message to teammates asking who wants to be in a, quote, three-way. Multiple teammates arrived at room 209. EM alleged that she was, quote, manipulated and intimidated into remaining inside this hotel room. Though in her findings, Justice Carrassia shared that she couldn't find any of the players guilty of sexual assault beyond a reasonable doubt. Former World Junior Team Canada captain Dylan Dubé and teammates Cal Foote, Carter Hart, Michael McLeod, and Alex Fermenton have each been found not guilty of sexual assault. McLeod has also been found not guilty of being party to the offense. We heard protesters scream for justice today. Has justice been served?
Yes, I think that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to see justice served here, and Justice Carrassia has done a thorough and careful analysis and delivered a just verdict, and so that's what we've seen here today.
While also delivering her reasons for decision today, Justice Carrassia also added that she was satisfied that EM actually encouraged the sexual acts to take place, welcomed those acts to take place, and was disappointed when her overtures were declined. Stefanie.
Okay, and Adrian, this trial watched across the world has reignited broader conversation around hockey culture.
Yeah, and you know, while the players here today, Stefanie, were found not guilty of sexual assault, of being party to the offense, there are still questions about hockey culture in this country. In many ways, hockey culture was also on trial. Now, if we look back, we can also see that, you know, one of the reasons that this case created such a public outcry was because we learned that Hockey Canada, at the highest ranks of hockey in our country, was using the funds of families who had paid for their Timbits hockey to settle sexual assault claims. So, you know, there is still a reckoning for hockey in this country. There's been lots of improvements with some of the things taking place with hockey in Canada. We've also note that Hockey Canada did send out a statement today where they said that the players involved in this case have yet to be reinstated by Hockey Canada. And I know that there's many people who are still looking at the things that are taking place inside the dressing rooms and, yes, even the hotels of hockey tournaments across the country.
Okay, Adrian Gabriel outside of Superior Court in London, Ontario tonight. Thank you for this, Adrian. In Windsor tonight, police have video of a suspect vehicle after a late-night armed robbery said to have happened last Sunday, just after 11 p.m. on July 13th. Officers were called to Dufferin Place. Police say a man walking down the street was confronted by a shirtless suspect in a medical mask who allegedly pulled a handgun and stole the victim's side bag containing $450 in cash. Now, the man wasn't hurt. Investigators have released this video they say shows the getaway car, a black Chevy SUV, and they are asking anyone in the area to check their cameras and to call in with any tips. Windsor police also saying a high-tech tool helped an officer find a stolen vehicle this past Saturday. An officer on patrol along Walker Road says he got a hit from the cruiser's automated licensing plate reader, flagging a stolen pickup reported missing from Essex. They pulled the truck over and arrested a 39-year-old woman and 62-year-old man. Allegedly inside, crystal meth, weapons, scales, and cash. Both are now facing charges tied to stolen property and in one case, drug trafficking. To Lakeshore now, where a driver's need for speed came at a cost. OPP say a 22-year-old man was clocked going 166 kilometers an hour in an 80 zone near Lakeshore Road 305 and Comberside Road, an area already flagged for reckless driving. His license was suspended for 30 days on the spot, and his vehicle was impounded for 14. And in Chatham-Kent, a woman wanted in a major drug case has now turned herself in. Police say the 22-year-old failed to appear in court last fall after a traffic stop led to the alleged seizure of forged documents, cash, and drug paraphernalia. A follow-up search allegedly revealed nearly $190,000 worth of meth, cocaine, and fentanyl, along with a prohibited weapon. She surrendered at police headquarters this week and is facing trafficking and property-related charges. A heads up for families, the health unit sounding the alarm on measles protection. WeChew is reminding parents to get their kids up to date on their measles and mumps vaccines. Measles recently detected in local wastewater. Though there's no direct link to schools, health officials say it's a clear sign to stay vigilant. Clinical cases remain low, but the health unit's offering summer catch-up clinics to boost immunization rates before school begins. And another note from WeChew, Ruskin River tested safe after a reported blue-green algae bloom, but the health unit still urges caution, warning the toxins can fluctuate and to stay out of discolored or scummy water just to be safe. Now, wherever you live in the region, maybe you've thought about taking the bus across the border to catch the highly anticipated Tigers-Blue Jays series this week. But the clock is ticking on that option. The special events and tunnel bus services are set to shut down later this year. And one expert says that could have major consequences. CTV's Bob Belichico joins us now with more on what's at stake when transit stops running through the tunnel. Bob.
Well, Stephanie, there are discussions happening right now on how to move forward once the tunnel bus and the special events services are terminated later on this year. I spoke with a local entrepreneur who is very energetic and may have a solution with a gem of an idea.
This is the busiest weekend of the year.
Baseball fans from this side of the border will be flocking to Comerica Park to see the Toronto Blue Jays take on the Detroit Tigers, two of the best teams in Major League Baseball.
This is going to add at least a few hundred more vehicles to each day, up to 1,000, again, depending on who's pitching.
Come September, the tunnel bus is done while the special events bus will cease operations in December.
If we had some type of vehicle that could transport people the 2 kilometers or less than 2 kilometer radius back and forth over the tunnel that's constantly going, we would see more people coming over here and more people would go over there and we'd connect better with our downtowns.
This might be a solution. This here is a 5-passenger gem car, which is already deployed in Detroit.
This vehicle is a microtransit service that is operating across North America as we speak.
With the use of an app, the vehicle can pick up a group and take them through the tunnel to their destination.
We're looking to work with local partners that would be interested in supplying, personnel that would be able to fill these vehicles with drivers.
Josipa Petronic is a leader in transportation and energy systems and says killing the bus is more than a labor discussion. She feels losing the bus kills a huge technology deployment opportunity.
It means it is the only place in North America where we could test speed-controlled autonomous bus shuttles, speed-controlled autonomous buses integrated across 2 countries for interoperability and standardization. This is game-changing.
Petronic feels Windsor-Detroit could integrate automated technology faster than the auto sector and says there is an opportunity for Windsor to seek funding the government already declared will be made available through the Canada Public Transit Fund.
This is a transit opportunity. It's also an opportunity to get the kind of operational support for Windsor that it needs in order to deploy not just technologically advanced transit, but just sustainable transit in the tunnel.
So whether it's the city or government stepping up with funding or even a startup company, there are solutions and options. Maybe what it'll take is having city officials from both sides of the border sit down at a table to hash out a solution that will work for both sides and both downtowns. Stefanie?
Okay, Bob Belichico tonight. So what do you think? Should the city reconsider scrapping the special events bus? That is our question of the day. Head to ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked, do you agree with Tecumseh Council's decision to reject 4 housing units as of right? More than 500 people answered, with 66% saying yes. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us now for a first look at the weather tonight. And Gary, stormy conditions ahead.
Stormy conditions because of the cold front. Good evening, Stefanie. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing some of the worst weather right through the heart of Lake Huron shores, moving towards the Bruce Peninsula, encompassing Georgian Bay. The trailing edge of this front eventually will reach us here in extreme southwestern Ontario. Over the next 4 to 6 hours, in and out of showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe, which means warnings and watches are possible. We are hot and very humid, obviously, but this cold front will cool us off by introducing a cooler air mass. I'll break down all the details, the storminess, and where temperatures are headed just ahead. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
And Gary, as you know, on a hot day like this, heat-related illness can creep up quickly, but it's also preventable. The expert advice: stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water, even if you're not thirsty. Wear lightweight, loose-fitting clothes and a wide-brimmed hat and seek the shade. Try to stay in air-conditioned spaces. Take cool showers and limit outdoor activity to early mornings or evening hours. If you do notice dizziness, nausea, or confusion, seek medical help immediately. And if you're looking to cast a line tonight in spite of the weather, a local bass tournament is hooking funds for a good cause. See how much they have raised over at ctvnewswindsor.ca. The town of Tecumseh has implemented new security measures during its council meetings, and even more measures may be on the way.
We certainly want the the general public to feel comfortable, in their chamber. It is a public building.
Tecumseh Mayor Gary McNamara says towns and municipalities across Ontario are increasing security measures due to recent incidents.
We've seen what's happening in Brampton. We've seen what happened to the mayor there as well, and the threats.
McNamara referring to death threats made against Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown and his family.
This is not the first time I've received a death threat. I did so a number of years ago. I'm sure it won't be the last, and it certainly won't change my approach.
The suspect taken into custody last week and charged with uttering threats to cause death or bodily harm. Closer to home.
You remember April 5th, 2023 at the county. It was pretty ugly.
That Essex County Council meeting was interrupted by 270 protesters inside and outside of council chambers. Some of those demonstrators yelling and swearing at council members.
I'm in charge of this meeting, not you. I will not tolerate outbursts. I will not tolerate disrespect.
In response, council shifted its regular meeting to Zoom. Already in place at Tecumseh Town Hall, a wireless panic button recently installed in council chambers, which, if pressed in an emergency situation, directly contacts the OPP for assistance on site. Barriers are also in place to differentiate the public from council.
I will clear the room.
I'll do you a favor. I'll clear, because in the face of unfairness and not democracy, order. I'm leaving.
Effective immediately, Tecumseh residents must sign in with their name, contact info, and may have to show identification before entering the chambers. The town says signing in was always a requirement, but was never implemented consistently. Council is also looking into the presence of security personnel who can help to deter and prevent inappropriate conduct and help detect or deal with any perceived threats that might arise. The estimated cost would be around $2,400 per year. And the clerk has now been assigned to read the rules of decorum at the start of every council meeting.
What we're trying to do here is be proactive and not reactive.
Pickleball is a widely popular sport, so much so one Essex County resident built his own court. But now, as Michelle Molesky reports, he must remove the concrete and tear out the nets because it is an illegal pickleball court.
Lake Crest Beach Road is a quiet coastal community with a thing for pickleball.
Many residents have taken up the sport since the spring. We've also taught the children on the beach to play pickleball, and I think they're quite enjoying it as well.
Rob DeMena put it adjacent to his home.
It was nothing malicious about it. I have a great group of neighbors. They had talked about pickleball. I had played a little bit. I enjoyed it. So I chose to put it in.
DeMena admits he built the court without permission, but begged for forgiveness and a lease agreement with the town.
I would be the sole leaser. It wouldn't be the beach leasing it, which means I would cover the insurances.
The town could not be persuaded.
The pickleball ball court in question is currently constructed over top of our sanitary trunk main, which feeds into our sanitary treatment plant.
According to Macbeth, it's also located on top of the water main that services these residents. The town's legal department isn't happy with it either.
Sets a really bad precedent for council. Basically what council would be saying is if anybody put something up on town property without permission, that we would try to find a way to allow it.
After a brief in-camera session, council returned with the verdict. The court must be removed by August 20th.
At their cost, under the supervision of the town's infrastructure department. That is moved by myself, and I'm sorry.
In Harrow, Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
A Windsor, Essex student is making waves at the age of 10 before even making it to grade 5. Harper Grace is establishing herself as an author and illustrator. CTV's Robert Lothian has her story.
Why did the ducks take down the decorations? Booble said. Because they were quacked.
To ask Harper Grace what she wants to be when she's older is a bit of a silly question.
Author, I already am.
A soon-to-be grade 5 student at Essex Public School, Harper recently published her first book, Maricopia, A Tale of Hope, a fantasy humor story following Harmony, a mermaid dog.
You can get the power of the elements, except there's 5. Water, earth, wind, thunder, and fire, and Harmony has got all of them. She's the Ultima, and she and her friends go on this quest to stop the Fire Lord.
Harper has been putting pen to paper since she was 7, even going back at times to improve on her writing.
Not one word on the first page is the same as it was when I started.
The 10-year-old wrote all 235 pages and added her own illustrations with a little help from her little brother Ryan.
I felt like it would be easier to draw a picture from a little kid if it was done by an actual little kid, so...
Harper's work is receiving attention, now making its way onto Amazon. So far, her debut publication has reached about 50 copies sold.
I was kind of worried that nobody would care, but I guess a kid writing a book is a big deal.
It started as like a way to just kind of like have her settle down before bed. She would just write a few pages because we cut screen time off a little bit in advance. And then she just kept going with it.
Interest in the book is even making waves across the school board. But for her mom, the success is anything but surprising.
She's a very creative kid, and she's a very stubborn kid. So when she sets her heart on something, it's usually successful.
A knack for creative writing, Harper isn't slowing down, already planning a new addition to her bibliography, The End of the Rainbow.
I have a very good idea of like picturing things in my mind, how things want to go. Like with my next book, I'm like planning the entire first chapter out in my head right as I speak.
She's hoping that story will be another chapter in her career with an already budding byline. Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, the wrestling world and Hollywood are mourning. An icon of the ring and the screen has died. And the big three are fuming why they say a new trade deal puts them at a disadvantage. Stay with us. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. A true wrestling legend, Hulk Hogan, has died. CTV Geneviève Beauchemin has a look at his life and legacy.
Hulk Hogan's legacy is tied to wrestling, of course, but ever the performer. He also took his trademark horseshoe mustache and bandanas to the music world and to TV and movie screens.
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
Including in Rocky III, that propelled him to stardom. Hogan was born Terry Jean Bolea in Georgia, the son of a construction worker and a dance teacher. He built that massive physique and earned his stage name. As fellow wrestlers commented, he was bigger than Lou Ferrigno, who played Hulk on TV.
Look at this!
He then slammed his way to the very top of worldwide wrestling stardom, at his peak defeating Andre the Giant with a body slam. He often leaned into the ring persona of a flag-waving, heroic All-American.
Eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, true to your country, be a real American.
Though he also later played a villain, as both he had fans around the globe, including Montreal, where in 1997, Jacques Rougeau became the only Canadian wrestler to land a win against Hogan.
The greatest of all times, Hulk Hogan. And I love you, Hulk.
Rougeau last saw his friend 6 months ago as they signed championship belts.
He signed it in my name. He says, "You're the only one who beat me in Canada." He says, "You deserve this belt."
Hogan was admired by many, but faced several controversies. In 1994, he was forced to admit in court to years of steroid use and later to apologize for a racist rant caught on video. Through it all, though, his superstardom in and out of the ring remained embedded in pop culture. Hogan died at the age of 71 of cardiac arrest. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
In other news, Ontario NDP leader Mart Stiles is spending much of the summer on the road for what she calls her All In for Ontario tour. Stiles spoke this morning about what she says she's hearing from residents who've been hit hard by the trade war with the U.S. and other challenges.
The point is to actually bring politics to the people, get out there and actually listen to where people are at. I think if you listen to the Premier, most of the time you'd think everything was A-OK in the province of Ontario, and it certainly is not. Whether it's the job losses, permanent job losses that we're already seeing as a result of the tariffs, or the hospital closures in communities like Thessalon in Northern Ontario or right here in Southern Ontario. There are some really big issues that people are grappling with. And for most people, it's about, just getting through the day. Things are pretty tough out there, and I'm looking as well for solutions because I think the solutions are out there in Ontario among the people of Ontario.
The Premier has repeatedly said he views U.S. tariffs and trade tension as a major threat to Ontario's economy. He weighed in on the issue at this week's First Ministers meeting in Huntsville.
I don't trust President Trump as far as I can throw him. He constantly changes his mind. It's you just don't know who you're dealing with. He signed that deal with Japan at what was it, $550 billion they're investing. Well, last time I checked, Japan they buy about $79 billion of products off the U.S. We buy about $349 billion of products. So Japan and the rest of the countries around the world have quite a bit to catch up to what we purchase off the U.S.
A major focus of the First Minister's meeting was finding ways to boost trade within Canada. The White House is celebrating a new trade deal with Japan, but the Big Three say it's a slap in the face. The deal could cut tariffs on auto imports from Japan to 15%, while leaving tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico at 25%. A group representing General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler's parent, Stellantis, says the deal would hurt American automakers, charging a lower tariff on Japanese imports with virtually no U.S. content than on North American-built vehicles with high U.S. content. A White House spokesperson defended the deal, calling it a historic win for American automakers, saying it puts an end to Japan's unfair auto trade barriers for U.S.-made cars. 2 men are dead after a small plane crashed into a storage facility in Michigan. The home-built plane went down around 4:30 Monday afternoon, slamming into a unit storage and igniting a fire. Investigators say the men were both in their 60s and had flown in from northern Michigan. Federal officials are still gathering witness statements, weather data, and flight records to figure out what exactly went wrong. Canada's Federation of Independent Business is raising a warning flag that Canada's economy could be in for a rough go. Its quarterly report forecasts the economy dropped 0.8% in Q2 and could further fall 0.8% in the third quarter. Were that to happen, Canada would be in a technical recession. The report notes most businesses expect long-term supply disruptions thanks to tariffs and delays at the U.S. border. Losses in basic materials helped drive Canada's main stock index to finish lower. In Toronto, the TSX lost 44 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 316, the Nasdaq gained. On commodity markets, gold lost $24 an ounce and oil gained 78 cents a barrel.
Obviously, it's very concerning for the families.
3 miners are trapped deep underground in northern BC, and they could be stuck there for weeks without contact. What we know after the break.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Scorching hot out there, and of course humid. Gary joins me again for an extended look. Gary.
Temperatures in the mid-30s for extreme southwestern Ontario. Our average is closer to about 28 degrees Celsius, and it felt like about 44 to 45. We knew it was coming. It's here. It's going to be a hot and, well, steamy evening into an early morning where it could still feel like 30. That's early Friday, reaching a high of 35.4 unofficially, and I say that because technically we have not been given the okay, the go-ahead to declare a record being set today, but we're going to watch out for it. 34 feels a lot warmer. So does 31 under hazy conditions in southwestern Ontario. Chatham feels like 42, 45. That's like 113 degrees Fahrenheit, just to throw that scale out there to give you some perspective. It is warming up across the Canadian prairies, so too Quebec, 32 in Montreal, 32 in Toronto. We knew it was warm in the lower Great Lakes. The winds are picking up as I speak. Thunderstorm potential is there. And by picking up, I mean gusts in that 40 to 60 range through to 10, maybe 11 o'clock tonight. So a lot's going on. And why is that? Because of this elongated cold front that's working its way across the upper Midwestern USA from west to east across Wisconsin through Michigan and now, of course, in southern Ontario. Northern central Ontario seeing a warning for significant rainfall, severe thunderstorms, in fact, and heavy rains through Manitoulin Island, the Bruce Peninsula. We could see nickel-size, dime-size hail, and the gusts in excess of 50 kilometers. The cold front sweeps between now and about 10, 11 p.m. tonight. We will see secondary and tertiary, so secondary and tertiary waves, third and fourth waves possible over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that means the cold front will introduce a cooler air mass, but it will also be the trigger for some of this activity. And with second and third waves, we will be seeing significant rainfall. Showers through the overnight, still warm. The umbrella required for tomorrow morning. And the next 7 days, well, we're warm, but not as warm. Rainy, yes, and then cooling off. The average temperature between now and a week from now is about 29 degrees Celsius. That's a look at your weather.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
Many of us have heard the popular health benchmark, walking 10,000 steps a day, but new research shows we may be overstepping. Aiming for just 7,000 steps a day is a great goal, according to a study published in the Lancet Public Health. Researchers found people who take 7,000 daily steps have a 47% lower risk of living longer. It also reduces the risks for other health issues, including cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and dementia. The study found increasing daily activities by just 1,000 steps makes a major difference. The unofficial 10,000 step target originates from a Japanese marketing campaign for pedometers, but it's not based on any health guidance. A tense rescue effort continues for 3 miners trapped underground in a northern BC mine since Tuesday. Now we're learning rescuers can't communicate with them, and it could be weeks before crews can get them out. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has more.
Somewhere 500 meters underground in the Red Chris mine is a refuge area where 3 miners are trapped. 2 are from BC, 1 from Ontario.
Obviously, it's very concerning for the families, for the workers in the sector, and all British Columbians and Canadians.
The miners are safe, none of them injured, and according to a rescue officer, they have what they need to last for weeks.
There's water, there's food, and there's compressed air feeding that refuge station. So with that, it's all the basics you need to sustain life.
A good thing, because it's unclear how long it will take to reach them and get them out. But Rideout says the workers are trained for emergencies like this.
A lot of things that have to be done in place to make sure that it is a safe and effective rescue.
The men have been trapped since Tuesday morning following what's called a fall of ground incident. This UBC mining engineer says it's an unusual event.
There's a possibility these blocks or prisms of rock could drop out of the roof of a tunnel. And it sounds like that's what's happened in this case.
The Red Chris is an open pit gold and copper mine about 1,700 kilometers north of Vancouver. At first, the trapped workers were able to communicate, but then came a second collapse, and they haven't been heard from since.
Phone lines, if they have Wi-Fi, like it would take out those networks. So that's an inconvenience. It doesn't jeopardize the worker safety.
The mining company Newmont says it is assessing all methods available to reopen contact with the miners and get them out. The province says it is also doing everything it can to support the company's efforts.
They have time, and there's a lot of experience within Newmont that is, I'm confident that they're going to execute this in a very safe and effective manner.
But he warns it may take days. It may take weeks. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, Hannah, what is coming up in the Weather Report?
We're talking the movie that is going to be perfect for tomorrow night's date night.
Stay tuned.
One of the biggest touring comedians is coming to Caesars Windsor. Tom Segura is bringing his Come Together tour to the Coliseum stage Thursday, September 4th. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Tom Segura at Caesars Windsor, plus a $250 gift card.
It's a great time to mark your calendars. Windsor's Italian Grape Festival is back. The Caboto Club's Grape Festival is returning this September, just in time for the club's 100th anniversary. From food and wine to live music and full-on grape stomping, it's 3 days of Italian flair and flavor. Friday and Saturday, 19+ are invited, with Sunday set aside for family fun and a splash of Portofino's smooth sounds. Tickets are on sale now, $15 in advance, $20 at the door, a little cheaper for kids. Now, got a grape event of your own or crushing it at one like this? Text us at 10400. You can now send photos and videos as well, or send a story idea our way. Turning now to the weekly weather report with Hannah Witherby from our sister station, Virgin Radio, and our own Melanie Kentner. Melanie, it's a scorcher today and just as hot as the celebrity gossip that's in the weather report tonight.
Yeah, if you're looking to beat the heat and stay indoors, a much-awaited sequel is making its debut this weekend.
Yes, Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out tomorrow on Netflix, starring Adam Sandler, of course, with many celebrity cameos, including Bad Bunny, Travis Kelce, and a rumored one from Eminem.
Can't wait to catch that one. And another movie just began filming that has fans flocking to the set.
The Devil Wears Prada sequel, they are filming in New York City. It's hard to hide in the Big Apple, so pictures and videos are coming out of the modern-day Miranda Priestly. Anne Hathaway was spotted shooting a scene with Stanley Tucci. Fans cannot wait for the return of the franchise.
And fans have been waiting for this one. We finally have a release date for this favorite mystery series.
That's right, Only Murders in the Building. Season 5, we know, with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. It's going to be coming September 9th to Disney Plus here in Canada. And that is sooner than they have returned in past seasons.
So much to watch, so little time. There are also some fun live shows to go to this weekend.
That's right. Jake Owen is coming to Caesars tomorrow night, taking the Coliseum stage with special guest Uncle Kracker tomorrow at 8 p.m.
And it looks like next weekend is a big one for music across the border.
It is. If you're going to Detroit, Cyndi Lauper, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Katy Perry all are going to be performing across the border next week.
Awesome. And turning our sights to Toronto, the new Rogers Stadium has been making headlines for not the right reasons. Artists have been commenting on the crowd control issues and traffic that have been plaguing it for months.
That's right. First, it was Coldplay.
I would like to say thank you so much for coming through all the bull you have to come through to this weird stadium in the middle of nowhere.
And now it's the K-pop group Blackpink.
We heard that a bunch of people struggled to get here on time because it's such a far walk over. And so we just want to thank everybody for putting in the cardio and walking all the way here to watch us.
They appreciated the fans' patience earlier this week, and they even dabbled in a Canadian classic on stage.
Yum, being patriotic never tasted so good. Thanks, Hannah, and that's your weather report.
I like you. Unscripted, unpredictable, and unapologetic. Wake up with Hannah and Johnny on 93.9 Virgin Radio.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. It's time to assemble in support of Cystic Fibrosis Canada at Superheroes Unite. Saturday, August 30th from noon until 4 p.m. at the Serbian Center. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, you've got an update on trade talks between Canada and the U.S.
That's right. Canada's point person on trade negotiations with the United States, Dominic LeBlanc, is in Washington today, meeting with U.S. senators in ongoing efforts to reach a trade deal. He said these are complex negotiations driven by the two countries' equally complex relationship.
There is no comparator with other countries in terms of the way the trading and security relationship between our countries has evolved. That's why these are complicated conversations. But Canadians expect us to take the time necessary to get the best deal we can in the interest of Canadian workers. So we're only going to be in a position to accept a deal when the Prime Minister decides that it's the best deal we can get in the interest of Canadian workers and the Canadian economy.
We've got more trade stories online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we've also got a list online, Melanie, with what's happening this weekend.
Yes, arts and culture will take center stage in Windsor, Essex, with the Fringe Windsor Festival, concerts and outdoor markets headlining a diverse list of weekend events. We've posted the lineup of what's going on Friday, Saturday and Sunday according to Tourism Windsor Essex Peely Island. If you have an event to add, email us at ctvwindsorweb@bellmedia.ca. And in our social spotlight, a viewer sent us an adorable video of their granddaughter. Now, this is Gabriella, and she loves to dance, even bopping to the music while in her cute little lawn chair. Oh, this is just so cute, Stefanie.
I think you, myself, and millions of other parents out there have a million of photos just like this on our cell phones. So adorable.
Yes, great memories for sure.
Okay, thank you, Melanie, and that's what's happening now. Also tonight, a Michigan man now holds a new state record for one massive catch. Cody Carlson was bow fishing last month when he spotted this beast, a 64-pound flathead catfish. The DNR says it measured 45 inches long, smashing the previous state record of just over 53 pounds and 43 inches to make it into the record books. A catch has to outweigh the existing record, be weighed on a certified scale and verified by a DNR biologist. In this case, he nailed all three.
Probably one of the best days of my life.
Still ahead, what's better than beer baseball in a barrage from above? The wild way one team drew a sellout crowd.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
It would be a beautiful day to be on a boat, get a little bit of breeze. Walking outside in a t-shirt today, within seconds, I felt like my arms were baking.
Yes, very hot, very warm. Humidity levels jumped. And with that, we went from feeling warm and relatively comfortable to being hot and it being steamy and perhaps not agreeable for some out there. Tomorrow, we are still looking at the potential of some showers and thunderstorms, and that's the threat tonight between now and, say, 10, 11 p.m. High of 29, feels closer to about 38 to 40. And then more showers through the weekend, perhaps Monday, Tuesday. It'll be mostly cloudy. Temperatures around 30 degrees over that stretch, and then we'll cool off Wednesday into Thursday of next week. A week from now, we could be in the lower 20s, 23, 24 degrees. So some cooler air is on the way.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Ricardo, we are returning to our top story tonight that has literally captured headlines internationally.
Yeah, it's a big story, Stefanie. Yeah. We're going to look at more of the reaction that's pouring in from across the country tonight. The verdict has been rendered, of course, but the conversation around trials for sexual assaults will continue. We'll hear from supporters of the complainant in this case, of the 5 former Canadian World Junior hockey players who were found not guilty of sexual assault today, and what the impact could be for future cases like this. Plus, a look at Ottawa's Bill C-5 charm offensive as the Prime Minister aims to get Indigenous communities on side for his signature and controversial major projects legislation. We have that and more tonight on the way at 11.
Okay, and if you're heading across the border for the Tigers-Jays series this weekend, odds are you'll grab a hot dog at Comerica Park. But in Illinois, one ball team took the ballpark snack to a whole new altitude.
Get your hot dogs right here. We're going all in Joliet. The Slammers looking to do something that no one has pulled off before. Setting the record for the most hot dogs dropped in an hour from helicopter. A wiener drop, if you will, 2,600 to be exact.
A bunch of people out here for $2.60, and it's just amazing.
This is like one of the best Slammer games I've ever been to. Hot dogs are going to be in the air. Honestly, I feel like it's the perfect day to do this. Perfect day.
Is this one of the best days of your life?
Yeah, probably one of the best days of my life.
You can't really blame Robert for being amped up. Thousands of flying dogs all falling from the heavens.
I'm willing to do anything, a backflip, anything, honestly.
For a hot dog?
Yes, for a hot dog.
The Slammers called, and the people came answering. There were those in love, and even the smallest of fans. A sellout crowd for this historic night. The folks here chowed down and washed it all down with $2 beers. The masterminds here, two legends, Bill Murray and Mike Veck. Veck no stranger to the game and unusual promotions. His dad owned the White Sox when they created Disco Demolition Night. He ensured us a much more tame night than the one at Comiskey back in '79.
I'm here just to make sure that if something goes sideways, he takes all the blame.
In the end, you can't really beat beer, baseball, and a hot dog unless trying to break a record while enjoying all three.
I don't know why that reporter didn't eat a hot dog at the end. That's the whole point of the story, right?
Yeah, well, he's watching his waistline, maybe. You know, he didn't want to get it down the throat. I've heard of smash burgers, but never smash dogs.
Yeah.
What a waste.
Yeah, wow.
I know.
The little girl had one. You saw it at the piece there. You know, you can still eat them.
Were they wrapped before they hit the ground?
I don't know, but you need ketchup.
I'm more interested in the $2 beer.
Yeah.
I mean, that seemed like a deal.
That could be dangerous at a baseball game. On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
That was a complete waste of time, by the way. For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And I'll see you again tonight at 11 for a late look at local news.
Good night.